Good morning. It is Saturday morning here in Omaha, 8:25 in the morning. I've just returned from a necessary trip to the store. I am not listening to the news all the time because it's just, they just repeat, and it just fills you full of anxiety after a while. The way they repeat things, and then you hear how what we've been concerned about is happening, and the numbers are exponentially exploding worldwide as far as infection. So I went to the store this morning just to make sure to be ready to be here for a long time. Now, I already was, but I really am now, providing there's no emergency. I have what I need to stay in this house for a month easily, if not longer. The only thing I would be running out of would be just little creature comforts. But I can eat beans and rice forever, okay? And oatmeal. And that stuff is good for you. It's good for you. So, I hope you're all doing well. It is surreal. And we have to respond to the situation, whatever created it. There's this thread now where people are pointing to this book by Dean Koontz, which I never read, where he basically lays it out very, very specifically, which is I've read it, because the people are putting it online, these Wuhan in 2020 from his book. Now, I am not into conspiracy. I don't like that word because the reason why it's used is to throw you off the path. A lot of times things that are called conspiracy are real. And so the idea that this virus was being worked on for military or whatever purposes makes complete sense to me. The idea that it could have accidentally gotten loose makes sense to me. The idea that it could have been loosed on purpose, I can accept that too. But I don't know, so it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Responding to it and being safe and living through it is that's where I'm at about it. You know what I'm saying? I put nothing past the dastardly ways of people who want something. One more thing before I mention a little bit of music. To me, this whole situation that we're in has everything to do with the fact that mankind lost the plot a long time ago, and we are held sway by materialism. And I like to put it like that because materialism as a social value, as a cultural setup, is a choice. We could have markets, we could have thriving business without rank profit-driven materialism being the focus. That's what I'm saying. This whole need to profit and privatize and have advantage over others puts us in this position. Look at what we just see in the news here in America. How some of these politicians were talking about this behind closed doors, and some folks had that big sell-off of stock. Made all that money. To me, it's the same story, different day. And then to see the bullshit coming from our so-called president, who's just always worried about saving face and looking good, and and then to hear the talking heads, the completely ignorant talking head right-winger Trumper humpers is what I call them. I listened to some last night, making excuses for his behavior, actually trying to excuse it by saying, well, all he's trying to do is comfort people and calm people down. Bullshit. The only people that can be calmed by that are utter imbeciles. And what we need now is for people to grow up, wake up, get smart, and become more responsible. instead of the spineless jellyfish that we are. Notice I'm including myself. We sit around and we have sat around and entertained ourselves into a corner. Folks, if you haven't realized it yet, the way the world was when 2020 started is gone for the time being. This year, the rest of this year is impacted by coronavirus. Glastonbury's been canceled. Japan, because they're in such dire straits financially, are still talking about having the Olympics. That's going to be gone. Everything, all of my Damo Suzuki, that's canceled. Of course it's canceled. That man needs to stay home and safe. He's in his 80s. So I'm just here also to encourage you to just steel your nerves and get right and deal with this. When I was at the store, I made sure to thank every store worker that I encountered. Thank you for working. Thank you. You know, it's the least I can do in that situation. Just mental health is important right now. It is. So take care of your mental health. If you haven't figured it out already, it's been a week. You can't binge watch this till it's over. I can't just sit here and play records till it's over. I have a routine that I've had for a while of activities, artistic, creative activities, as well as household chores. I consider my involvement on social media part of my daily routine, and I use it in a way as much as possible to be a plus, not a minus. These are all choices that we have, and we need to make them now much more consciously. Things are not going to pop back in June. They're not. And the other thing that we need to really do is just stay put so that it doesn't spread anymore. That's the key. And the problem what we have is all these not a problem, but the challenge, besides those of us who can somewhat make choices, are the people who really can't. People who are homeless on the streets. People in countries where they've been ravaged by weather, like Puerto Rico and Haiti and the Bahamas. The viruses worldwide. The India, Iran. It's devastating, folks. And so we just really need to face that we've got to do our part to try to kill this thing, let it run its course. It's not life as usual. So take care of yourselves. Keep smiling. I'm not going to use the word hope, because false hope is false hope. What we need is to do is to be responsible and just try to keep it together.